All right, Chaz, you get to do the countdown now.
All right, okay.
You got the mic, you got the sound bar,
All right.
the sound machine.
All right, we got it. All right, ready. Like the pros do it, Jimbo.
Like the pros.
5, 4, 3. Live from Pepsi Studios in New York City, it's the Hospitality Hangout Podcast with the restaurant guy and the finance guy. Everything's better with Pepsi.
I like that, Chaz. I like that intro. Listen, I'd like to welcome you more formally to the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders of Branded Hospitality get to share their insights and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry we love. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the finance guy. I'd like to introduce my partner, Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the restaurant guy.
And thank you for that kind introduction, Jimmy. And for all those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. And we are the founders of Branded Hospitality, and we are at the intersection of hospitality, technology, innovation, restaurants, food, custard, burgers, and everything in between. Jimmy, we do it all. Jimbo, I got to tell you, before we jump into it, we've got a great guest. Great guest. Unbelievable guest. I don't know how we book these guests. I don't know what we're paying these guests. But I don't. Not enough. That's 100%. But I got to tell you, big announcement today. You know, our friends at Pepsi have just announced. There it is. Oh, Jimbo's going with Starry, one of my favorites.
My daughter's favorite. Starry.
A little restaurant group by the name of Subway.
Subway.
Do you know this?
I think I've heard it.
It's like Starbucks. Subway is now switching from the red can.
Switch
to the blue can.
To the blue can. Switcheroo.
That's a big one. That's a big win for our friends at Pepsi, right?
Win.
That is a big win. So super excited about that. We got a great guest. I got to tell you, we are here today with some really great stuff. Jimbo, you want to talk a little bit about it?
I do. We're very excited. We get to welcome our friend Scott Redler, co-founder of Freddy's Frozen Custards, and now Redler Hospitality. This is going to be a great show. I'm super excited.
I mean, I got to tell you right now, before we get into our guest and everything about him, because Scott's got a great story behind him. But let's dig into it a little bit. Let's go back a little bit and just we're going to go back to 1982, Jimbo. 1982. Jimmy, we're at the University of Missouri. And it was warm. And Scott was just a freshman. Didn't know much. Very green. And he said, you know what, Mom, Dad? Lawyer or accountant. His dad was proud. His dad was very proud. He said, you know what? If you're a lawyer or accountant, you know what, Jimmy? You can always get a job. Always get a job, right?
I feel the same about people who can play the piano. You can always get work.
But you know what? But he thought back to himself. Before he did all that, he's like, when I was 15, he had never been happier because he was catering. He was doing catering. He dressed up in a tuxedo. He was serving in caviar and little hot dogs and all that stuff at bar mitzvahs and weddings, all those type of things. And you know what he did? He didn't become a lawyer. He didn't become an accountant. You know what he did? He went to hotel management, Jimmy. Catering and hotel management. He worked across fine dining restaurants, things all over the country. He opened up a steakhouse, Timberline Steakhouse. I don't know the year, but it was delicious. A delicious steakhouse. And he had more than one. Okay. And then after the steakhouse, like, you know what? Steak is good, but you know what's better? Custard. And he said, I'm opening up Freddy's Custard. You know what, Scott? Let's bring you in, okay?
Yes, Scott.
How much did I get right?
How much did Scott get
I'll give you about
right? And by the way, we're thrilled to have you here, Scott.
74% right. How's that? Is that a good score?
That's better. That's pretty good for you. 74% right?
That's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah, but loved it. You know, it's been amazing. 48 years in our amazing industry, and I love it every day. Still love waking up and saying, what can we do different, and how can we impact people, and how can we impact our guests?
I love it. Listen, you are truly, I mean, Jimmy and I have a lot of guests on, and there's nothing better than when we get restaurant lifers. People who started in the business when they were really young. I mean, Jimmy was a bartender. I was a bartender. You started in catering. I mean, we want to get back. We want to dig into it. But you know what? It's always great to talk about the success. And I mean, needless to say, we're going to talk a lot more about Freddy's and all the success you've had there. But I mean, there's just opening a restaurant it's not easy. It's hard, right? I mean, it's really hard. And let's just talk a little about your first restaurant that you opened and how hard that was, and then let's get into Freddy's.
See what he did, guys?
Well, you know,
Built you up.
it's interesting.
Built you
So
up.
where I am,
Built you up. And now
I
he's going with your first, maybe less than great moment. But go ahead.
Well, no, Scott was a very successful operator. With just Freddy's has 10,000 stores. That's all.
But you're not starting with
But
Freddy's.
every successful operator has all those uh-ohs, and they're important to know about, right?
Yeah, but I think you learn a lot from the others, right?
Absolutely.
Always.
So here I am coming out of college and go to work for Gilbert Robinson, Bristol Bar and Grill, #1 choice. Loved it. What an amazing organization. They taught you better than anyone. They really had it down. And I fell in love with this concept in Minneapolis called Lee and Chin Carryout Cuisine. And I go, wait, I could do that. So opened up a Shanghai Charlie's on my own, mid-20s, and, kind of like a Panda Express, but I missed location. And,
Shanghai Charlie's.
I guess I didn't go to that real estate course in college or didn't show up on the day when they told us that.
Well, you opened up on the wrong side of the street?
Kind of in the downtown area that would not let us deliver. And we would do great lunches and dinner. You could lay down in the middle of the street and take a nap. And that was a challenge.
That's good for business, I guess. If you could lay down if you could shoot a cannon in a restaurant, not hit anyone, that's bad.
Yeah, hitting isn't good. So, but it was fun. So learning how to do design and menu and recipes and costing, the flow, ergonomics, all the components, financing. The only good news about it was called Shanghai Charlie's in Clayton, Missouri.
I like the name, by the way. Shanghai Charlie's an awesome name.
Good name.
Yeah, it was fun.
Name.
And,
good logo.
Yeah, great logo. It was fun. I love the concept, but sometimes you have to do what do they? Oh, well, yeah, sales. Oh yeah, you need sales.
You do need sales. Sales do make all problems go away.
That's the concept, except for the lack of customers. Besides that, it was great.
Well, it starts with a good name, though, Scott. It all starts with a good name.
It does. You're right. It has to be right. And the good news is I didn't lose a lot of money. The bad news is I didn't have a lot of money because I started pretty
though, right?
like $3,000. It was like a fortune to me. But absolutely, my wife calls it my master's degree, and it truly was. And it helped leapfrog me into regional management at a younger age. And really, I could have spent a lot of money going to college and getting a master's degree. I think I got more value out of opening up.
On the job training, right?
It was absolutely
invaluable. Listen, I want to stick with the topic of lessons learned. And while Shanghai Charlie's may have been, a great education, but from a financial success, maybe it was a miss. You did have a most meaningful first taste of success when you opened up, and Shatsy mentioned in his intro, Timberline Steakhouse. And you entered the steakhouse market at a time when these venues had like the greatest or the single best ROI of the restaurant segment or restaurant category. But the story maybe doesn't have a fairy tale ending. So I'll borrow from these were the best of times. These are the worst of times. What can you share more about Timberline Steakhouse?
Well, let's start with why I did it, because I think that's important. And I wish I could find this piece of paper. I'm sure it's at my house, but like most restaurateurs, we have too much stuff. There's a piece of paper that showed best return on investment for restaurants. And on the top was dinner-only steakhouses. And after analyzing a bit, I'm going, wait, this does make sense. And started working
Especially Shanghai Charlie when you did no dinner.
Yeah, I was going to bat more than once to get a home run, right? Or a single for the kids. But we went in and we opened this thing up. And Bill Simon was my third person I talked to about doing it. Living in Wichita, Kansas is an amazing place to live. The spirit, the culture, the people here are off the charts. It's one of those secret gems. So don't tell anyone to move to Wichita because we don't want them here. We got enough people.
Okay, Jim, I'm canceling that appointment with my real estate broker. I'm not going to Wichita. That's it.
Honestly, it's an amazing city. But the beauty of it is, you look at the entrepreneurship here. Wichita State was one of the first centers for entrepreneurship in the country. And we had Pizza Hut, Rent-A-Center, Taco Tico. White Castle was actually founded here. And you look at all these different businesses, Coleman Industries, and the attitude towards risk, reward, and understanding that hard work makes you lucky really did get us here. So
I like that, Jimbo. Hard work makes you lucky.
Hey, can I give you a
Jimmy's
dollar?
line, what's your line?
My line is the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Yeah,
I get
right.
it. It's the same thing. And so we opened up. I came here to work for a company and ended up leaving and opening up the first Timberline. And it was really incredible. We opened it on the west side of Wichita, which was lacking restaurants. And now there's a ton of restaurants here and still a great location and goes back to location, location, location. So opened it up, killed it. Opened the second one, did great. Ended up having 6 at one time. And we were really, for a lot of years, we were doing phenomenal and ended up in '07, selling them. And the interesting thing is that in '05, someone wanted to buy Timberline. We had Freddie's was going at the time. Someone came in and said, hey, to my partner, hey, we'll give you $4 million and da da da. We went, oh, cool. This is great. And the deal never happened. So let's fast forward to 2008. What happened? Oh, wait, a recession. And the worst segment to be in was dinner only steakhouses because it was disposable income that was getting people out Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And so Freddie's was coming along and we ended up selling Timberline as a concept for a whopping 25,000. So 4 million minus 25. Hey, you learn a lot, right?
So that George Costanza.
Yeah, I'm not great at math.
Negotiate.
Yeah, but yeah. I think the idea of negotiation is to get more than your investment.
Hal, why didn't you tell me that back then? It would have been
Yeah,
great.
exactly. I still think it was a good deal.
I will say to your point, Scott, and I was I was purely in the financial markets and at that time working for a large European bank. I will say that the Great Recession slaughtered, whether it's expense accounts or client entertainment, banks were under great scrutiny. So not only were those types of evenings curtailed, but it's essentially was almost eliminated. And I don't know where I'm out of that business now, but you're 100% right. It used to be big expense accounts and ordering expensive wines and entertaining and taking out your best clients. And then it got shut down. It's like, let's stop at, I don't want to make fun of anybody. Let's stop at Arby's and let's wear the meat.
Don't make fun
Not
of anybody.
steakhouse. Let's get where the meats are.
Jimmy,
Roast beef
here. At that time, we had Freddie's. So
There you go.
let's stop.
Well, listen, let's fast forward now. We've talked about some success. We've talked about some failures. We talked about Shanghai Charlie's, no dinner crowd. We talked about a steak restaurant, only dinner, but recession hits, expense accounts are gone. $4 million investment sells for 25 grand, not the best. Buy low, sell high, or buy high, sell low. And listen, the tax deduction, I'm sure, was incredible. Probably still writing that off today. Let's fast forward now, 2002, right? And now you're in the kitchen and you're making recipes for a new idea, Freddie's. You're wrecking the kitchen. Your wife's ready to divorce you and throw you out because you're messing up her whole kitchen. I mean, you take Freddie's from an idea. I think you told me you took over an old pizza store, I think, for the first one or something like that.
Actually,
you grew it to
bagel store,
400 locations. Let's talk a little about the success, and let's not forget about the Triple D strategy. And we're not talking Guy Fieri, Jimbo. We're talking about the Triple D at Freddie's and Scott's Triple D. So let's talk about the success. Tell me a little bit about how Freddie started, because it's a great story.
It is. So my partner, Bill Simon, and I have the steakhouses, and back then we were doing great at that year. And Randy came in one day, Randy Simon, Bill's brother, and goes, hey, I want to do frozen custard. And I go to Lake of the Ozarks, and I really enjoy it. And we don't have any in Wichita, Kansas. So I go, okay. And I go, all right, first, I'll do it, but I want to bring back steak burgers and Chicago dogs and all the food that I loved. And I'm a St. Louis kid and grew up on a brand that's challenged right now in our country, and it's easy to figure out who it is. And I want to go back and do it right. And later we termed what right means is the Freddie's way. And that's an important topic that we can talk about later. Doing things the right way, the way you should do them, long term, make the right decisions and let your restaurants thrive for that reason. So we opened the first one up. Yes, the recipe's in my kitchen, and I ended up having a remodel.
Was it an old pizza place or a bagel place? I forget the first store.
Bagel.
The bagel shop, right.
It was a bagel shop, and for years we still had a little bagel over one of the doorways that we found.
Do you remember what the buy-in, what it cost you to build out? Because it was already a bagel store, probably had some infrastructure you needed, right?
Yeah, but it's amazing what it cost then versus what it costs today. It was a minimal investment, no outside money. Bill Randy and I did it on our own and opened the first one, and it was cheap. And it didn't,
Less than 4 million?
let's stick with less than, I think about 300 grand, 250.
Nice.
But the funny thing, the only thing I had not had experience in all my years in the industry was drive-through. And it scared me. Wait a minute. You're coming up to a drive-through speaker box. You're going to order, but I'm not going to sacrifice standards, right? I'm going to give you freshly cooked food every time. Great. And you're going to order over here. And a couple minutes later, I'm going to give you freshly cooked food at a window. And it scared me. So when we first opened up, I put my car in the drive-through window backwards with a sign on the back that said drive-through opens tomorrow. I did that for about a week. It's the free beer tomorrow thing.
I love that. Right. Yeah. We got drive-through right tomorrow. We got drive-through went tomorrow.
Yeah. We figured it out finally. And it's, huge. It's over 50% of our Freddy's business today and continues to grow. They do a great job. But we opened the first one, and really in Wichita, Kansas, I'm a St. Louis kid. I've lived in D.C. and Minneapolis and used to driving. But when you live in Wichita, Kansas, the Freddy's was 18 minutes from our house. Well, you almost have to get shots in a helicopter to get there. So
right.
We ended up, another location became available in East Wichita. We opened it up.
That was the pizza place?
No, that was a taco place, actually.
A taco place, okay.
And a record shop. And
Schatz is going to find a pizza place that you convert.
When did you convert a pizza place to a Freddy's? Damn it, Scott. I remember a pizza somewhere.
First thing tomorrow, I'm looking for closed pizza places.
Thank you. We're doing that Charlie's. We're doing that Charlie's.
Bring it back, Shanghai.
We're bringing Shanghai Charlie's in an old Pizza Hut.
It probably work today, but in the home of pizza, Wichita, Kansas, right? So we ended up opening a second one without a drive-through, East Wichita, and then the entrepreneurship spirit of Wichita took over, and we had folks that owned other concepts that said, "Wait, I want to do my own Freddy's." And eventually we said yes. And the first one opened in Hutchinson, Kansas as a licensee. And it was amazing and fun. And that was really expensive dirt back then. I think Ron paid $175,000 for his dirt. How the world has changed.
Yeah, sure. You're missing a few zeros today, huh?
Exactly. And today, it's funny. You go from that location and you kind of blink. And all of a sudden, we're opening up our 25th, our 50th, our 100th, our 200th, 300th. We blew by it. And around 400 was when we said, well, we should sell the majority and move on. But it's amazing. But the true win is the number of people that have jumped on and really made their lives out of making money and taking care of guests and taking care of their team at Freddy's.
Got a lot of franchise operators, right?
We do. A lot of great friends.
Schatz and I have had the privilege of working with some speaking with, getting to know some founders. And one of the areas of great joy they have is when it works and they're able to help other people, franchisees, build successful businesses and really change lives. And again, I don't ever, I never get tired of hearing stories about how you came up with Randy and Bill with concept and how many now people are succeeding on back of the kind of the foundation you've created. I want to shift gears a little bit. It's not breaking news. In fact, it's not even new news. But for the podcast and for our listeners, I think you exited Freddy's, as you said. You exited the daily operation of Freddy's, but that's not the end of your story. In fact, there's a whole new chapter. Can you share a little bit about what you're doing now, and whether that's with Mocha's Cafe or now Redmore Hospitality? Knowledge is cumulative, education is expensive. You're probably right now at the best of your game. So what's going on with Mocha's and Redmore Hospitality?
Well, so last year I was honored to serve as chair of the National Restaurant Association. Took a lot of time, absolutely loved it. Was all over the country and Mexico, which I'd go back to Mexico in a second, but incredible.
They love it, Scott. The audience is just acknowledging the chairmanship at the National Restaurant Association. That's a great position. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was an amazing honor to serve. And so I had like 3 months, 3 months of not really having a day job. And my wife kicked me out, locked the doors, changed the keys, everything.
That's no joke, right?
Well, maybe it is. And anyway, but sitting here and Jason Ingermanson, who is is the largest Freddy's franchisee. I think he has 85 locations or so. Also owns other businesses, including Chompies in Arizona. He has a concept called Mocha's, Salina Country Club, true entrepreneur, wonderful culture. And culture is what drives me to help people. It's nothing else. You can be a great guy, but your culture and your company isn't right. It takes forever to build the right culture, and someone can screw it up in a minute, right? We all know that. So
I think we saw that at Bowen just recently. Not to get to change subjects, but
yeah,
they get some problems. But anyway,
major problem.
On one door opens
Anyway,
up,
so
and everyone's
my,
all bent out of shape.
yeah, exactly. Just one door.
One door.
Could have any airplane.
My brother owns my brother Barry owns 3 Freddy's with his wife Beverly, and they're
Does he
building
get better deals. He paying less. No one's listening. No one's listening. It's just us.
Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
we were so careful with everything that he had no extra benefit. But it worked out great. So they have 3 open, building their 4th.
Does he give you a discount? You get free custard?
No, he charges me double. You'd have to meet my brother.
That's what I expect a brother to judge it double. That's what I like.
It's great. We're very close, and we've always been aligned on business acumen and people and the way we do things. And Jason, he had just retired. He was a C-level exec for a Berkshire Hathaway company. And Jason said, Barry, why don't you come become president of JRI Management and do everything except for operations? And our brother said yes. And then Jason goes, hey, Scott, why don't you help me with Mocha's, make it franchisable, and we'll see what happens. And I said yes. So having a lot of fun with it. It's a lot of fun to take a concept from infancy to childhood. And hopefully we get to the teen years and the adult years. We'll see.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love it. All right, listen, let's switch gears a little bit. We're going on to a great new segment. It's called What's Hot or Not. So let's play a little What's Hot and What's Not in the food service technology space. Scott Redler, founder. Shanghai Charlie's, founder. Smithline Steakhouse?
Timberline
Steakhouse, founder. Freddy's, founder. Or no, but Big Maca over at Mocha, right? The Big Maca, okay? Here we go. I'm going to ask you a few things. You just tell me if it's hot or not. AI drive-through menu boards, hot or not?
Medium rare on the way to sizzling.
Paper receipts, hot or not?
Automatic email with your receipts. Love it. Why hassle?
LTOs and specials made for social media, hot or not?
I'm a KISS guy. Keep it simple. And if you can sell enough, it's worth it. Not sure it's worth it.
Celebrity virtual brands, hot or not?
Hot with the right owner or partner.
Jimbo, what you think?
There's a lot there. I always like to pick up on something our guest says. I think I'm going to go last in, first out here with the celebrity virtual brands. Talk about that a little more if you can, because I'm really interested in the space for a number of reasons to our listeners. If you know, you know, but more because we've just come out of a phase where the words ghost kitchen, I think, was really hot. Shatz and I thought it shouldn't be. But at the end of the day, it had an explosion of popularity, and specifically a lot of celebrities throwing their names onto things. And we have thoughts on that. But talk about the celebrity virtual brands or celebrity infused businesses, because as you said, it takes the right mix of folks. Talk about that a little bit.
I'm thinking Mr. Scott Redler Wings. What do you think? That's hot.
That would be hot.
That's hot.
Yes. I'm not sure he's got
Redler frozen custard.
I think that might be a violation of his non-compete.
Oh, is that he can't do that?
Let's Scott talk about it. So,
okay.
What do you like? Celebrity virtual brands. You said with the right folks. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, so I've always been a believer, even with Freddy's and Timberline, and I'm not that smart. I copy the idea off Outback, and Chick-fil-A does it. The owner-operator concept. And I'm a big believer in that. With Freddy's, we had a 3-tier bonus program. With Timberline, a 3-tier bonus program that rewarded monthly. We treated a general manager as an owner and
that's the way to go.
5-year long-term bonus. And one of the most amazing days were the 5-year bonus handouts. And we've given out checks for a lot of money that really did change lives. But understanding when a general manager or operating partner understands their business like an entrepreneur, you win. They understand long-term costs and expenses that help make the restaurant better. Will help them win long-term. Sales drive profit. Once your general manager, operating partner understands that, You can go to the Bahamas every day, Jimmy, and sit on the beach and have a pina colada, because that's the trick.
Sounds really good. I got to tell you, I like that. How do you do that? How do you get to do that?
You empower your GMs to make them act and feel like owners.
Like owners, yeah. I love it.
But inspire that entrepreneurial spirit.
So wait, Jimmy, can you make me feel like an owner? Or I can make you. How do we get to sit on the beach and have a pina colada? Who gets to?
Chats for good, bad, or otherwise. We're both the owners.
Jimmy, the other thing,
so I don't get to do that?
No.
The other thing is rewarding them as an entrepreneur, rewarding them as a leader of their business. And they are the person with the most to gain and the most to lose. And our general managers, with some programs we've had in the past, earned up to 15% of net. And when you're thinking that way, you're thinking, I'm going to take care of my guests. I'm going to take care of my team. I know turnover costs me. I know what food cost is. I know how to do things right. I know what a clean restaurant is. And, we all have our three-legged stool on how to run a business, right? A restaurant especially. And when you get somebody that truly understands that, there's no question who wins. They have to win first, and everyone wins.
Happy guests start with happy employees. If the employees aren't happy, the guests can't be happy.
One of the biggest, misnomers is the guest is always right. That's not true. We try. We try so hard to make it right for the guests. But as an owner, you've got to make your team, your employees, your staff, you got to make them care. And to Scott's point, what he's saying is, if they feel they're an owner, they're going to care about. It's not a job now; it's their store. It's these guests are their guests. They're not working for Scott.
No question about it.
Partners with Scott. So I dig that.
I love it.
Jimmy, the guest is not always right. It's not always right, but they're never wrong.
Never wrong, right?
Right, but they're never wrong.
I like that. Dropping knowledge.
Yeah, no, because at the end of the day, like you said, they're not wrong.
Not wrong. We try to make it right.
Yeah, try and make it right. Exactly. Jimbo?
I like it. Listen, I want to jump into our what we call talking back. Shats and I, clearly we like to bring on guests, bring on friends, and chat a little bit. But we learned along the way that sometimes our guest has a question for us. So, Scott, we're going to give you the microphone. We like to say nothing's off the table. Ask away. The microphone, my friend, is yours.
So, Jimmy, how did you go from the crazy world of finance outside of our industry into the crazy world of finance and everything you do within our industry?
By the way, this podcast is only scheduled for 45 minutes, so I don't know, Jimmy, if we have the time for this.
Let me get comfortable.
Yeah. It's 1968. Lenox Hill Hospital. It was a very cold day. Very cold.
I appreciate the question, and actually, I'll surprise you, Shats, and deliver a more succinct answer.
Oh, Scott, what did you unleash? What did you unleash here?
I cut my teeth in front of house as an underage man, picking up shifts at a local pub, sports bar.
Right. What was that? Martell's?
The Polo Grounds.
So the Polo Grounds. Yeah, that was like
Martell's.
That was a sports bar. Like one of the first. Yeah, early sports.
Underage bar back, busboy. To me, it was a great job. Anytime I had a break, literally started in high school. I could walk in there, became friends with the manager, and I could just pick up shifts. What a great experience. I didn't see a career path for myself. So when I graduated college, I went into investment banking. And I got my MBA over at Columbia, and I just charted more of a Wall Street and a financial run. But I did love the industry. And what really kind of connects me to it was when I had a few nickels to my name, I invested in my first restaurant, which was the managing partner with Shatsy. So I was a passive investor. Shatsy and our other partners make fun of me. They say eat and drink for free. That's not fair. I paid up front. It's like riding the bus. You pay and then you ride. You don't pay and then ride for free. You pay. So I invested, and then I enjoyed myself fully with no responsibilities. And then I had two lives. I had my Wall Street life and my finance life, and I had my passive investment in investing along with Shatsy and our partners in our growing restaurant company. And then about 5+ years ago, based on feedback from Shatsy and the other operators on the friction between, let's say, technologists and operators, and was the industry that was really very analog and antiquated, was it being benefited? Were technologists really leaning in? And based on the expertise of Shatsy and our partners, I really felt this was a unique asset class, emerging asset class that wasn't leveraging subject matter experts. And with that in mind, I actually I divorced my old company, left it my partners. That still operates, an investment management firm. And I went all in on hospitality, looking at this as an asset class where SMEs, subject matter experts, really need to be part of the technology discussion.
That's this guy. That's us, Scott. We're the experts.
And it started.
We're smart.
Started, Scott, with some, really a hobby where we were investing in companies that Shatsy and the managing, the partners in tech they really liked or even really loved. Pour My Beer, a self-pour beverage.
Chowly,
a labor saver.
Bbot,
online integration. Bbot, a QR code and pay at the table. Each of these were initially companies that we were using in our restaurants. So we were a customer first and then became an investor. And ultimately, my wife said to me, is this a job or a hobby? And she's smarter than me. And I said, you're right. And that's when I left my own investment firm. We hung up the shingle that's Branded Hospitality Group. And we've now been active in the space. And I have to tell you, Scott, and I know it's a longer answer than anyone wanted, but I'll say the following. I have a big love of the asset class. And that's what makes this job. You said it at the start of the show, how much you wake up every day and thinking about what you could do to make things better. I get to play this cerebral sport. That it's my own world of finance, but I'm doing it in an asset class in an industry that I truly love, and that just makes it really super fun.
And Jim, but you failed to mention the no asshole factor.
Yeah, well, I didn't want to curse on the.
You're not. This is not. First of all, this is not a show.
Yeah, I think what I would say is that we have a B2B strategy, and what I mean by that is we are allies to operators. We feel if we can work and help operators succeed. Help them take care of their guests. And it's really their guests. It's their business. If we can help them optimize margins and improve efficiencies, we are creating a flywheel that wins. So we really stay focused on working with operators. And to Shatsy's point, when somebody comes across as a technologist and is an asshole, and they tell us they've never, other than being a guest in a restaurant, they've never had any experience in the workflow. And it's a very complex workflow that guys like you and Shatsy know intimately. I mean, a manufacturing facility is the kitchen, the retail facility is the dining room. It's a really complicated workflow that I think a lot of people unfortunately misunderstand. But if we can find technologists that are allies to operators, I think we all win, and that's what we're focusing on.
Yeah, but I was talking about the banking, the no asshole factor. That you left banking because hospitality, everyone's cool.
Well, I will.
Everyone's cool and fun in hospitality, Jimmy.
This is an industry that's
we know how to have a good time.
It's comprised of an amazing group. This is a group of people that roll up their sleeves and get S done. And they plan. There's a team.
We're bussing tables. We're seeing people.
No job too big. No job too small.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to succeed as a restaurant, the team's got to win. And the front of house, the back of house, people have to work together. And that's really been super fun for me to be part of this industry now.
Well, you know what? You brought up, you call it no asshole, but I'm the politically correct guy. So I call it the no joke rule, by the way.
Yep.
And
thank you.
Life is too short.
He's from the Midwest. We're from New York.
Yeah, and it is so important. This is the industry of opportunity. There's no question about it. And by the way, I know why you made your decision. You talk about things in a very technical way as an investment banker would, but your passion came through. I can tell you're passionate about what you do, and you enjoy coming to work today a lot more than you did 10 years ago.
So much so. That to me is a gift. And actually, Shats, to work with you and Julie and
that's the gift, Jimmy. To work with me each day, that's the true gift, Scott.
I get to work on a team. I get to work with CEOs that are trying to do good things and restaurant groups. I mean, we're the second largest employer in the United States. We're not perfect.
We will hit $1 trillion.
We're not perfect as an industry, but I don't know a more democratized industry that allows people to really have an incredible run if they care and they deliver and they hustle and they work hard. So we're not perfect, but I don't know better yet when it comes to a democratized industry.
And you know what? So I want to go into DDD, Triple D.
Okay.
You talked about a lot of technology, and my career in the industry took us from a hotel restaurant guy who's flunking out somewhere, go work in a restaurant. And now everyone realizes that restaurateurs are running multi-million and sometimes multi-billion-dollar companies.
Yes.
And DDD to me is data-driven decisions. And it is so important to use the technology you represent and own part of a lot of these companies where we're able to get the information, menu engineering, make decisions that are better for our company long-term, better for our team, better for our franchisees. And it is so critical. I mean, I'm Mocha's. We use Toast. And Toast is great. We're excited about our new location. We're going to add kiosks and take technology to the next level. and we're able to make things and understand this works, this doesn't quickly. And when you're a large company, you're able to influence things by literally millions of dollars to the bottom line. So that's why I live with that.
I got to tell you, Matt, you just said something that's really everyone. They're on their feet. Scott, that's the studio audience. The Triple D, data-driven decisions. Look, let's hear it for data. Data-driven decisions. By the way, nobody likes data-driven decisions than Jimmy.
Yeah, no, I want to say, I hope if there's one moment at this
Is it data or data?
It's data.
It's not data?
Well,
Why can't I say data?
You can't.
Scott, what do you say?
Data potato.
Data, sorry.
Data.
Why do I say data?
I
It's
can
for
give
you.
you,
It's
I
where
can
you're
give you a
from.
list of reasons, but we don't have time.
Is it automated data processing or automated data
No, what I
processing?
want to just say is I hope if there's one takeaway from this episode, it's that, the Triple D. You're a veteran of this industry and you're still innovating and creating new concepts. And one of the arguments we have with a lot of, restaurateurs is they're set in their ways. And I respect that. And they always talk about their gut and their instinct is how they make decisions. And I come from an industry that data really drives so much of the decision making. And what I try to tell these old school, these traditionalists is watch how much better your gut and instincts get. Watch how much better when you start relying on unemotional data driven decisions. So I will give full attribution to your Triple D. That's yours, my friend. I will embrace it. I will give attribution.
So does he have to pay Guy Fieri for using Triple D? Did he steal it from you?
He took it from me. Different thought
son
process.
of a bitch.
You get it.
I knew he stole it from Scott. I knew it.
I love it. Again, that's to me the takeaway is there is now so much consumer preference data flowing through these companies. These restaurants are multi-million-dollar businesses. And that is, I just think that's an incredible thing. I love what you just did, and thank you for sharing with our guest and with me.
What's going on, Jimbo, what are you hearing right now?
I hear we're getting a cease and desist letter from the Family Feud.
No, stop it. It's the Food Service Feud, Jimbo. It's Trivia Tuesday edition. I got to tell you, Scott, Jimmy, are you ready to play a little feud?
Let's have fun.
All right, the Redler family and the Frischling family. We polled 100 real human beings, real humans, Scott, on LinkedIn, real people. And we asked 100 people a question. I got the 4 top answers on the board. I'm actually going to make it a little easier, Jimbo, because I'm going to give you guys the 4 answers, and then you just pick which is number 1. All right, Scott, ready?
Yep.
All right, imaginary buzzer is ready, Jimbo? All right, Frischling family, Redler family, you're playing for big money here.
Money, big prizes.
100 people surveyed. Top 4 answers on the board. What is your favorite food pairing? Cheese and crackers, chips and salsa, bread and butter, peanut butter, and jelly. That's it. Go.
I'll big in.
Scott, you got it.
Oh.
PBJ.
Peanut butter, and Jimbo, I got to tell you, the Frischling family can steal. It looks like there's $100,000 at stake here. What are you going to say?
Well, I think, Chatsy, you know that I played the feud before, and I'm a big fan of the condiment. And it is a condiment that is salsa. So I'm saying chips and
Ding, Jimbo, the Frischling family has stolen it and won it. Chips and salsa is the number 1 answer.
Chips and seltzer.
Chips and salsa. A little fun fact, by the way, chips and salsa was designated as the official state snack food of Texas in 2003. And the sales of salsa overtook ketchup. That's right, ketchup in 1992 in terms of dollar value, and is now the number 1 condiment, salsa. So I got to tell you, Scott, you played a great game, but it's tough to beat Jimmy. Peanut butter and jelly was the number 4 answer to the board. Cheese and crackers, and followed by bread and butter. All right, that was great addition over there. All right, let's go right now into another really great segment. Jimbo, are you ready?
Yeah, I love how you got the new segment, you get the feud segment, you get the quickfire segment. I gotta tell you, I'm feeling a little unloved.
We had some technical problems during our production today.
The quickfire, the single greatest segment of any podcast, according to Joe Rogan.
Yes, according to that's Nielsen. Nielsen actually said that this is the highest rated segment on any podcast in the continental United States, including Canada and Mexico, and now venturing into Latin America and South America, from what I'm being told from my production team. Scott, are you ready for a little branded quickfire?
Let's go.
All right. comedy movie or action movie favorite?
Die Hard, Bruce Willis, classic.
Yeah. Where you getting dinner from tonight? Shanghai Charlie's.
I'm in Kansas, going out a little steak.
Nice.
We have
like
some of the best beef in the country,
That's true.
in the world.
That's true.
What is your favorite food city in the world?
Got to be New York. I mean, to be able to go have Michelin Indian food and then the next night be in a Filipino restaurant with no silverware, where do you get that?
No argument from two New Yorkers here. Well, I'm Jersey, Jim. All right, I'm not New York. I'm Jersey.
You said it. I didn't.
All right, Jimmy hates New Jersey. He doesn't like it. Never even been to New Jersey. Where's your favorite place to travel, Scott?
DC, see the grandkids on my way to Italy. The best food ever.
I knew he was going to say Italy. We talked about that, right?
You cannot find a bad meal in Italy. It's unbelievable.
It's the best.
And the people are
I agree. All right, here's where things get a little tricky. If you were to challenge Jimmy Rye to a game of backgammon, that's right, backgammon, what are better odds of beating? The restaurant guy who sits and plays backgammon all day or the finance guy? Who do you have better odds of beating?
Boy, that's a tough one. Chatsy, I'm going to go with you, but bring your checkbook, okay? Bring your checkbook.
Oh, wait a minute. Scott's a backgammon player. I love it. Yeah, I got to tell you, I love backgammon. I play it all the time on my phone. I've got like the app on, whatever. And I got to tell you, it's funny. I would always lose to the computer. So on my backgammon app, you've got like a little hint button, right? So what I started doing to try and get better is I see the move I want to make, right? And I don't do it. And then I hit the hint button to see if that's the right move.
Yes.
And it's not always. I'm not always making the right move. But I got to tell you, when you use the hint button just exclusively, I always beat the computer. So I'm getting better. I mean, are you really good?
I enjoy the game.
Oh, that means he's really good, Jimbo. That's a hustler right there. That's a hustler. I've never played it. What is this game of backgammon, you say? Yeah, he's in Italy playing backgammon, drinking Negronis all day long, I could tell,
I went to college. Awesome. I mean, it's foosball and ping pong. What else is there?
I got to tell you, I love it. I love it.
Listen, Scott, I want to thank you so much for being on the podcast with us. Really super fun and really appreciate all the hard work you continue to do for the industry. And again, continued success and wishing you all good things in this latest chapter of your run with Red Hospitality and Mocha's. If any of our guests would like to get in touch with Scott directly, you can email.
I have a cell phone. I have a cell phone right here. Let me give out that cell phone here.
We don't do that.
Wait, Scott, give me that cell phone again.
So if you want to get in touch with Scott directly, you can email the podcast team at podcast@brandonstrategic.com, and we'd be happy to make the connection. And then finally, to our listeners, just want to continue to thank you so much. Our podcast subscriber base is continuing to grow.
We're like 75,000 monthly listeners now, Jimbo.
It is amazing, and that's not just my family.
No, that's you. I mean, you got a big family, but not that many.
Yeah, so we appreciate your engagement with us, and we continue to try to bring great hospitality leaders such as Scott Redler on and try to have a good time with each other, while also hopefully bringing you insights that you can utilize for your own businesses in this industry we love. So with that in mind, I'm going to sign off and say this is Jimmy Frischling, your finance guy, again with appreciation to Scott. And I'll pass it back to my boy Shaq.
Hey, thanks, Jimbo. And yeah, thanks, Scott. This was awesome. If anybody wants to learn a little bit more about Mocha's Cafe, what's the URL for that?
Mocha's Cafe, mochasusa.com.
mochasusa.com. Check it out. Are you franchising that yet or not yet?
No, soon, but actually go to jriusa.com.
jriusa.com. Learn about Mocha's Cafe. Let me tell you something. If and when they let you get involved, I mean, you always want to bet on a winner.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, Scott Redler is a winner. So if he does let you in on Mocha's, I suggest you get in on that and fast. I know Jimmy is already, he's already went on and filled out an application. He's already going. He wants the New York City market, Scott, for Mocha's. He wants the Upper East Side. How many stores? Will you give him a good deal? I got a 5-unit deal.
Here we go, baby. Hey, one thing I want to say before I leave, though. Thank you both, Jimmy and Chaps. Thank you for what you do for the industry. We are the industry of opportunity. Somebody who works hard, works smart, uses the tools to their advantage will win long term. And thank you for bringing it up.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. We good, Chatsy?
Again, thank you, Scott, for your service to the NRA. That's the National Restaurant Association, by the way. I just want to make sure everybody understands. Yeah, that's not the rifle. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I just want everybody. Yeah, thanks, Scott. Thanks, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.